I think anytime you go into an opener, there's going to be some uncertainties. And so I don't know that we're any more comfortable or confident than we are the previous year or really any year before that. Every team's different. Everything poses different dynamics. So we got a lot of work to do. We're still building every single day, but we're excited for the opener.
Is it easier to prep for Indiana State knowing that you have your one quarterback? If you're not trying to...
Not really. A little bit. Now that we're not going back and forth between Trey and Nate, I think, we know we're going with Nate Sudfeld. But what makes it hard anytime you're in an opener is you really don't know what you're going to get. And guys have had all off season, all summer to change up schemes and to do something different. So, you think you know what you're going to get, but at the end of the day, you really don't know. And so that's why always going into an opener, there's always some uncertainty and some nervousness about really, do you know what you're going to get?
How would you say the recent days as the offense developed in terms of the ability to play fast? You mentioned that a couple of times. I really want us to play fast, and it sounds like they weren't, quite up to IU Hoosier standards yet.
You know what? What I believe is that you have to step out of practice mode and get ready for game mode. And what happens during practice is we as coaches are always on the field. We're trying to coach our guys in between plays, and we're moving the ball around, or really we're always bringing the ball back to the same spot. But once you go play in a game, coaches step off the field, the officials are there, so everything's different. And, we're not where we need to be. We've tried to play fast during practice. We've tried to get the coaches off the field so we can simulate games. But nothing really simulates it except playing the game itself. We have a tempo, we have a standard that we try to play at, and it'll be interesting to see how we do Saturday. But more importantly, it'll be interesting to see how we grow after week one going into week two now that we've had some game experience.
Players have talked about it being harder to read what they're doing now as opposed to before. As a coach, is that true, or what do you see?
A little bit. I think with a 3-4, they can stand guys up. They can just show more of a balanced look, and then you really don't know, is pressure coming from the right or is it coming from the left? And that's what I think makes it difficult, is that depending on the formation, they have a chance to show you an even, balanced look, and then you're sort of guessing as to where they're coming from. And I think our guys have done a great job so far this fall camp.
How do you feel about how Nate has progressed from the start of fall camp now without you having Trey or Cam there to really push him like he had?
Yeah, and Nate has a ton of personal pride, and he wants to be very, very good. So really this fall camp has been about Nate challenging himself or just becoming the best he can be. And really felt like he came into fall camp and was okay, but wasn't his best. And I think that he's developed timing over the last 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, developed some rhythm in the offense. So I really think he's peaking at the right time, to say, coming out of fall camp. He's developed, he's progressed. But now, now we're going to go out and the lights are going to come on with different receivers. And now how can he do with Shane Wynn and Stoner and some guys who haven't played nearly as much. But I believe in Nate. He's a great player. He's a great person. I think he'll go out and do just fine.
How much has that kind of, hurt him or slowed him down because there's so many new guys, receiver and tight end, maybe he really wasn't thrown to in the past?
Yeah, I think that's where practice comes in, and just the timing and the rhythm and getting a ton of reps with those guys. I don't want to say it's hurt him, but again, 2.5 weeks into this thing, we're just now getting there. And I think we still have a long way to go, but we're a lot better than we were the first day of fall camp.
It looks like you guys are going to be without a couple tight ends early. How do you feel about that position right now in Cooper and Felix?
I feel really good. And again, with the tight end position, I've said since day one that we have to mix and match. We have to play all of them, to be very honest with you, because they all have different skills and different abilities. But I feel great. Those guys have been working hard. They're ready to go. They're prepped. Fuchs was here in the spring. So this is really his second fall camp, if you will, his second time going through the same plays. He's really developed quite a bit since the first day he showed up. But we feel great. We have a ton of confidence in those guys.
Talk a little bit about Sam Bradford at the end of his thing. One comparison he made is that how much study Sam put in, how much effort he put in being a great college player. talking about Nate a little bit. You know, have you seen any increase in the amount of time he's putting in terms of film work, that kind of thing? Because Kevin said it still doesn't compare well to what a guy like Sam did.
That's right. And the best thing about Coach Wilson coming to Indiana from Oklahoma is that he had a chance to watch the best players in the country go to work with Sam Bradford, Adrian Peterson, some of those guys. And, you know, sometimes as a kid, I think they think they're working hard, but they really don't know what to compare it to. Now, what makes me feel really good is that Nate Sudfeld's in our offensive staff meeting room right now watching film with us. Doesn't have any class on Mondays. So I think he's getting it. You know, he's been there since 9 o'clock this morning. So I think his maturity level has increased in that area. And I'm sure as we go through this season, it'll continue to progress and grow the way we need it to.
Kevin, what do you need to see, or where do you see the backup quarterback situation, and where are you there?
Well, those guys are still battling, and I don't know that there's a clear-cut number 2 yet. I'm not sure Coach Wilson has made a decision with what he wants to do there. Like any backup quarterback, there are good days with Diamant. There are good days with Boudreaux. There are bad days with Diamant. There are bad days with Nate Boudreaux as well. So I think Coach will go with his gut feeling when it comes time to make that decision. You know, Nate Boudreaux has played before. Diamant has a redshirt year available if we wanted to use it. But right now, those guys battle every single day, and they're still learning and growing so much that to them, I don't know that they're on Nate Sudfeld's level yet with going through reads and progressions, and you know, we're still trying to slow things down to make sure they get just the base schemes, base concepts, and can execute that at the tempo we want them to.